So President Trump is heading off to Turkey tonight for the NATO summit, where he is expected to encourage allies to step up their support to end the conflict with Iran.
All right, Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst joins us live from Tel Aviv with the latest. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Right now, there are hundreds of thousands of Iranians in the streets of Tehran, marking the funeral for the late Supreme Leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. This event is scheduled to end on July 9th and has included international delegations from countries like Oman and Saudi Arabia. Many of the attendees chanted "Death to America" as they demonstrated, but there was no appearance from Iran's new Supreme Leader, Mustafa Khamenei. With the ceasefire ongoing, there are questions about this 60-day window and whether Iran will make serious concessions to avoid a return to war. The Israelis are reportedly preparing a unilateral strike package against Iran, as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke this morning on Fox News about the relationship he has with President Trump.
We see eye to eye on just about everything, and sometimes, as happens among the best of allies, and we are the best of allies, there can be differences of opinion. We usually speak about it in open conversation. We're allies, and we share not only common interests, we share common values. America has been the defender of freedom for 250 years, and Israel appreciates that because we're a free, independent country.
In an interview over the weekend, President Trump said, "We get along very good. Netanyahu knows who the boss is." Reports do indicate the Israeli Prime Minister could visit Washington as soon as late this week to meet with President Trump at the White House, although the Prime Minister told Fox and Friends that no date was set yet. Over the weekend, the Israelis launched a few strikes and did some shelling against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Another Israeli strike was conducted against Hamas in Gaza, but largely the region has stayed quiet as the ceasefire holds. This month will be critical to see how the Iranians enter into these technical talks with the United States during this 60-day window. The Trump administration has made clear again and again Iran will never have a path to a nuclear weapon. Guys?
Yeah, that's one thing they do agree on with Israel. So that's pretty clear. Thanks so much, Trey. Appreciate it. Let's bring in former Trump Deputy Security Advisor KT McFarland with tremendous foreign policy experience and contacts. So this is going to be a different tone to NATO. What do you think the president wants out of this?
He wants two things. He wants the NATO allies to step up with their defense investment, to commit to spend more money on their national security and to commit to make things in Europe, to increase their defense industrial base. The second thing he's going to want is them to agree that he was right on Iran and that the Iran situation, the Iran war, is coming to a close. Oil prices are down. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. And I don't think he's going to get the second one at all. He may get lip service to the first, because even if the Europeans say, OK, we're now going to spend 5% of our GNP on defense, they don't have a defense industrial base. It's going to take them a decade to do that. And the Europeans blame President Trump for the Iran war. I don't see the European leaders telling President Trump the Iran war was good, the Iran war was successful. On the contrary, I think they're going to tell President Trump, Israel is terrible. We think Israel's the aggressor. You launched an illegal war against Iran. So I don't think this is going to be a happy meeting for anybody.
KT, on the second part of that, if our European allies were to step up and help us, what difference would they make at this point? Walk us through that.
They wouldn't make a whole lot of difference militarily in the Iran war. I mean, Britain has some minesweepers, for example, that would be useful. Other countries contribute a little of this, a little of that. But most of our alliances that are going to make a difference in the Middle East are from the Gulf Arab allies that we have, that President Trump has formed into this Abraham Accords coalition, and increasingly is doing security connections with them with regard to the Middle East and with regard to Iran. So Europe, it's going to be more of an attitudinal thing of, what do they think of President Trump? Or are they going to try to trash talk President Trump? The problem with the Europeans is they can't go it alone. They may say, oh, well, United States, you need to spend much more time and much more attention and much more effort on Ukraine. Forget about the Middle East. Ukraine is the important one. And if you don't, well, we're going to complain about it. But the Europeans on their own, they just have taken such a different track from the United States. They have these huge welfare states. They have cut back on their defense, and it's very hard to see how they could ever go it alone.
KT, one of the things that I've been seeing across social media, on interviews, is there's no moral clarity when it comes to Israel and are they our friends or not. It's pretty clear for me. And one of the countries that have become a part of contention is Turkey. Will we support Turkey? Will we sell our aircrafts to them? This is what the Prime Minister told Brian earlier in the show.
Turkey is a great country, but it's governed by a man who calls openly for the annihilation of Israel. He occupies half of Cyprus, a NATO country. He's threatening Greece, another NATO country. And he talks openly about conquering Jerusalem. They finance Hamas, they harbor Hamas, they roll out the red carpet for Hamas. They're, in fact, supporting the bad guys. And they didn't lift a finger to help you in Iran. We did. We're the model ally that fought next to your great soldiers.
What did you make of that, KT?
You know, Israel and Turkey have had a funny relationship over decades. Sometimes they're really great friends. Right now, they're not very great friends. And as you've heard the Prime Minister say, and clearly President Erdogan of Turkey has said very negative things about Israel over the years. But on the other hand, President Trump gets along with Erdogan. Erdogan is a tough guy. I mean, I've been in a room with him, and he's one of the most frightening guys I've ever met. He's just tough. And so President Trump can deal with him, knows he needs him to try to make an expanded peace in the Middle East. Erdogan and Turkey are key to that. And Erdogan and Turkey are key to a strong NATO alliance. So I think President Trump's done a really good job of walking that tough line between them and not balancing on one hand pro-Israel and the other hand pro-Turkey. So he's done a great job.
Yeah, just don't sell them the S-300 and the F-35s because they have Russian missile defense. They can't get our planes if they have Russian missile defense. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, KT.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.